Hello everyone, welcome to my channel, and today I'm going to continue with another chapter of history, which is State to Territory. It is the second chapter of grade 8 history, and in this chapter we are going to further learn about history, modern time history, which is going to be very interesting all throughout. This chapter is going to be a brief introduction on how the things start and go throughout the modern history. So now I'm sharing the book. The chapter we are doing is chapter 2, from trade to territory, and we are going to discuss how the company, which company, the East India Company, establishes its rule, establishes its power in our country, India. Moving forward to the first paragraph for a brief summary, let's start with important points. Who was the last Mughal emperor? Who was the last Mughal powerful emperor? It was Aurangzeb. He established large part of his territory. Now, after his death, now when his death he died in 1707, and many Mughal governors and big zamindars, they arrested his authority and they established their own kingdoms. We learned all this in our chapter 10 of grade 7. So this all is now done, but this is a short paragraph describing it all throughout. By the second half of 18th century, now in the first chapter, we have discussed that if this is the 18th century, we divided the 18th century into two parts. The first part, we say it as the decline of Mughal Empire, and the second, we say it a new power emerging into our subcontinent, which was British. A new power was emerging on the political horizon, which was the British. Now, British originally came as small trading company. Now, there is another story why the British came. Now, which Britishers came into India? The Britishers who were very poor in the Europe, in England. The Britishers who were very poor and did not had enough money asked the Queen Elizabeth, that if they could come east and the Queen could grant them some trading rights, that they could come east and trade with the people here. And they got permission to do trade, and they came as a small trading company. But then they started to see that the people in the east, now if this is England, why their company is East India Company? The thing is, like, if this is England, if this is England, this is India. Now if we see on a map, or we see according to the directions, we will notice that India is towards the east of England. India is towards the east of England. And not only India, but these people, the Britishers, they came to rule the entire east near India countries, along with India, like Afghanistan, Pakistan, India, and then some parts of Bangladesh and all these. They thought that these are east, so we'll go and just trade with them. A little bit of trade we will do, but for what reason they came, what things they wanted to trade? They wanted to trade, basically, they wanted to trade the silk, and they wanted to trade spices, because these places were very rich in silk. The silk production in India and China, the silk was very costly. So these Britishers, they came as a small trading company to trade these things from here. But when they came here, they noticed that the people living in India here in the east were not much powerful enough. They were not much powerful as Britishers. They were not much developed. They were not much civilized. So they thought themselves as a higher level. They thought that the people living here are not as much as higher level as they are. So now they started to establish their rule. That is, what we will see how they start to establish their rule, what would they start in the beginning. So here we have a picture. It is Bahadur Shah Zafar. Who was Bahadur Shah Zafar? One of the rulers after Aurangzeb. And his son are being arrested. They're being arrested by the Captain Hodgson. Now, Captain Hodgson is one of the captains of the Britishers. After Aurangzeb, there was no powerful Mughal ruler. No powerful. But Mughal emperors continued to be symbolically important. In fact, you all know about the revolt of 1857. In the revolt of 1857, Bahadur Shah Zafar, the Mughal emperor at the time, was seen as a natural leader. He was the ruler, so he had to be the leader. So he was a natural leader, and he was forced to leave the kingdom, to leave India, and his sons were shot in cold blood. So when you're reading, just go ahead and read these paragraphs which are given on the side of the picture. They help you for getting a better understanding. Moving ahead, we have a map here. I would like to focus on this map because this is one of the important maps. Let's just focus on it. Yes. So here you can see what is there in this map. In this map here, right here, you can see there is a British island here. The England and all, that is the British island. And towards when you're coming right here, there is a route. There is a route. I will show you right now. If this is the British island, the England, the Europe, this is the Europe, but this is the British island, the England, London, and all those. Here we have India. Here we have Calcutta, Madras, and Bombay. Moving forward, if we have a closer look, just a minute. Okay, here you will be able to see that there is a route which is coming from a place called Cape of Good Hope from the British island, from going from Cape of Good Hope to Bombay, Calcutta, and Madras. So this is the route. The Britishers, they started from the British island. In the first route, they came here. They passed through Cape of Good Hope. What is Cape of Good Hope? The place where Africa is meeting this Atlantic Ocean, that is called the Cape of Good Hope. They're passing through this Cape of Good Hope and getting to this place called Canton. It is in South Korea. They're getting to the place called Canton. Now they also developed different routes. They started coming this way in a easier route, and from here they went to different places. They went to India, they went to China, and they went to Canton. So you have different places where Britishers are going. Please make this map if you're preparing for your exams. This is a very important map. Moving forward, you have East India Company comes east. Before we start this, I would like to share a PPT to, to just summarize what we have done till now. So the PPT is from trade to territory, module 1. So today we are just discussing about the module 1. What have we discussed till now? Let's get through it. Now, first slide you can see here is the timeline of the Mughals. Here you can see the timeline of the Mughals. It is in grade 7, but if you're in grade 8 and you don't know things about grade 7, you have to learn them first. So they started from Babur and they ended at Bahadur Shah. Bahadur Shah Zafar we discussed. So all these You have to learn. There is Bahadur Shah 1 here after Aurangzeb, and Bahadur Shah here, the revolt of 1857, it was Bahadur Shah 2. So you need to learn all these for the timeline of Mughals. The main are the first 5 till Jahangir. After that, these were little weak. The After the death of Aurangzeb, all these rulers were little weak. Then these made rulers. Moving forward, emergence of East India Company. We just discussed about this, that Aurangzeb was last Mughal emperor. Many regional kingdoms came. A Portuguese. Now we have not discussed this in the book till now. There was a Portuguese explorer called Vasco da Gama who discovered the sea route to India in 1498. Very important. Now, who is Vasco da Gama? He is just an explorer. Explores places. So he was just exploring the sea when he found a unknown country, which is India, and he discovered it in 1498. And he also said in one of his uh, traveler accounts, he also said that India was a great place. It had fertile land, it has many spices, and he mentioned it as a golden bird. Okay, moving forward, Aurangzeb, last Mughal emperor. This is an important point which you need to take care of. Now, arrival of European traders. Firstly, where did they arrive? Now, who European traders they arrived? Firstly, as I said, that Vasco da Gama was the first Portuguese explorer. So he arrived in 1498 in Calcutta, today known as Calcutta. Then the Dutch arrived after the Portuguese in Pulicat in 1595. Then came the British in Surat in 1608. Then French and Danish came in Pondicherry 1664 and Tancuba in 1616. So make sure you learn all who came. It is not necessary to learn these. You could simply skip these, but it is really important to learn the people who came. They were Portuguese, Dutch, British, Danish, and French. Moving forward to the next slide, we have here following this route. Now, there was a map in the book which I showed you. Following that route, other European traders like French, Dutch, all those also came. The Portuguese were the first one, so we will take Portuguese as number one. And after Portuguese, who all came first? The French came, Dutch came, the Britishers came, Danish came. They started and started to come India, and then they started to explore the Indian subcontinent. They were interested, as I said, in buying silk, cotton, pepper, cloves, cardamom, all these spices. All these can be termed as spices and silk. Spices and silk. Remember it as S and S. Moving further, the urge to get more profit. Now, everyone is interested in profit. They wanted more and more profit, but there were many companies. Now, to explain this in a more clearer way, I will get to the whiteboard. So now I'm going to show a blank screen, a whiteboard screen where I will show you what is happening now. Now, there is a thing. Firstly, we have a center point. What is the center point? This center point, we can say it as silk and spices. This center point is silk and spices. Now, who all came to buy this? There were Britishers, there were French, there were Dutch, and I'm telling you the main one: the Britishers, the French, the Dutch, and the Portuguese, who were the first one, and the Danish. So I will write here French. Then we have the British. The whole is about British. Then we have the Danish. Then we also have the Dutch, and the first ones to arrive were the Portuguese. Now, when you all have, there are different companies, but they are all interested in buying the same product. British also want this, Dutch also want this, Portuguese also want this, and Danish also want this. I'm sorry. When everyone wants the same products, what is going to happen? The demand is going to increase, but the profits are going to decrease. What is happening now? The same products are needed by 5 different people. Now, same products if are needed by 5 different people, and also the Indians, there are several people wanting to buy these. Now, when there are a lot of people, the people who sell them, now the Indians who are selling the silk and the spices, they will also want profit that they're selling. They want profit, so they set the rates high. If they set the rates high, the profit for the British, French, Danish, Portuguese, and Dutch is going to decrease. So now, what these companies started to do is that they started to fight. Now, there was route was through water, through seas. So they started to sank each other's ships. They started to block the routes, and so now you know that Britishers are the most powerful ones. So obviously, it is clear that it is the Britishers who are going to win. So Britishers, they fought with Dutch, they fought with Portuguese, they fought with Danish, even they fought with the French. But who won at the last? The Britishers won. Now there were only Britishers, and their profits thus increased. Now we come back to the book. We'll stop with the PPT and the whiteboard. Let's come back to a book. Here it is the book. Now, after all we read here, we read that in England, the Queen Elizabeth, they granted sole right to trade with East to the company, to the East India Company. Then there is mercantile. Now, what is mercantile? It is given right here. Mercantile, a business enterprise that makes profit primarily through trade, buying goods at cheap and selling them at higher prices. Now, what are these companies doing? They're buying things from India at very cheaper rates, and they are going back to their country. They're going back to England, to Europe, and they're selling the same things at very higher rate. So, what are they having? They're having a lot of profit. They're buying things from India at cheaper rates, and they're selling in England at very high rates. So, thus, they are going to become really rich. Moving here, we have in the book, it was Vasco da Gama, the Vasco da Gama part we have here in the book, which we discussed in the PPT, and they wanted cotton, silk, and all these is here in the book. If you want to see the entire page, on which page they are, so this is the page. On one we have the map. Down here in this paragraph, you have these, and in this paragraph we had the Vasco da Gama fact. Moving forward to the next page, we start with East India Company begins trade with Bengal. We are going to do this in another video. The main important things are the terms given here. How, when did they came into India, and what is the story behind it? Then who discovered India? What did they want? And how did they had rival competitors, all these people, Dutch and all the Dutch, French and all these people were there. So they also want French traders, Portuguese, Dutch, all these, they had rival competitors. There were fierce battles between them. They sank each other's ship, blocked routes, and prevented rival ships from moving with supplies of goods. So this effort they led, and who won at the end? They were the Britishers who won. So this is the end, and these all were the important points we discussed. The page one and the page two. We will start with East India Company begins trade in Bengal in the next video. Thank you everyone. Bye bye.